This just in. As of today, February 26th, Ukraine has tentatively agreed to Trump's rare earth mineral deal. Quote, Kyiv has agreed terms with Washington on a minerals deal that Ukrainian officials hope will improve relations with the Trump administration and pave the way for a long-term U.S. security commitment, says the Financial Times. Now, this is a huge deal because just 3 days ago, Zelensky was not ready to sign the problematic Ukrainian minerals deal. But now, according to this report, Ukrainian officials say Kyiv is now ready to sign the agreement on jointly developing and mineral resources, including oil and gas, after the U.S. dropped demands for a right to $500 billion in potential revenue from exploiting the resources. On top of this, Putin yesterday went on Russian national TV hinting at a $15 billion joint U.S.-Russia aluminum mining project. Now, obviously, the devil will be in the details in a situation like this, and of course, nothing is finalized. For instance, as I'm writing this, Europe is reportedly working on a deal of their own to undercut the United States. But as of the time being, things seem to be in the United States' favor. And even though officials have publicly come out to say not to speculate on any mineral deals, the truth is, if I wait around until Trump announces all the details of a potential deal in a press conference, shares of those companies are going to price us in well before I can get any. So, with that being said, here are 5 publicly traded U.S. companies that are the most poised to benefit from a Ukrainian mineral agreement. Number 1, Albemarle Corporation. They're one of the largest lithium producers in the world with significant operations in Western Europe. Ukraine holds significant lithium reserves. Albemarle's existing European footprint makes it well positioned for investment and extraction in a post-war Ukraine. Number 2, the Mosaic Company. Mosaic is a leading producer of phosphate fertilizers, and prior to the war, Russia and Belarus were 2 of the largest potash exporters. With heavy sanctions disrupting these supply chains, Mosaic stands to gain by increasing production in Ukraine to supply European markets. Ukraine is literally known as the breadbasket of Europe, making fertilizer production and distribution a critical industry for post-war recovery. Keep an eye on them. Number 3, oil and gas company Schlumberger. If you don't know, Schlumberger is the largest oil field service company in the world, operating in Europe, Russia, and the Middle East. Before exiting Russia due to sanctions, Schlumberger had one of the most extensive Western oil service operations in the country, working with Rosneft, Gazprom, and Lukoil. This is important because Ukraine has major untapped shale gas and oil reserves which can be developed with Western expertise. Schlumberger is well positioned to replace Russian oil field services and support energy infrastructure rebuilding in Ukraine. Number 4, Centrus Energy. You might not have heard of Centrus Energy, but they're one of the few American publicly traded companies that specialize in Ukrainian enrichment. Now, what's significant about Centrus is prior to the war, they were previously partnered with Russian state nuclear corporation Rosatom to supply enriched uranium to US and European markets before severing ties due to sanctions. And when you consider that Ukraine has Europe's largest uranium reserves, making it a critical player in nuclear energy, I'm sure Centrus is eager for this deal to get signed off. Number 5, last but not least, Alcoa. Now, Alcoa focuses on aluminum production and processing and already has operations across Europe. But the reason they stand out to me is because prior to the war, they had business dealings with Russian aluminum suppliers and were engaged in the European market, making them familiar with the region's supply chain. When you consider Ukraine has significant aluminum-related mineral deposits, which could support a new aluminum industry, Alcoa could establish refining or production facilities, leveraging its European presence to expand into Ukraine. Keep in mind, I'm purely speculating here, and these are just educated guesses. And before I get grilled in the comments, I'm not advocating for this deal, I'm simply sharing information. But with that, ahead of this potential deal, if you wanted to get ahead of it and buy companies that might benefit from an agreement, it would be a good idea to keep an eye on if any politicians are buying any of the stocks I mentioned or their competitors. Because let's be honest, they'll know the details about it before anything is released to the public. So to track the trades yourself, check out Quiver where they're all posted. Good luck, and until next time.